There's a dress that I'm really well known for, my step down dress on the
I
way.
believe I know the dress.
And it was inspired by your, is Westwood,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I tried to find purple iridescent taffeta and I
Yeah.
couldn't
But you know, it's not actually
anywhere.
purple.
It's blue.
Up close, it's red and blue silk woven together.
What?
It's not even purple. It's a funny story about that dress.
The color spectrum is used in many ways, but let's look at it from the symbolism that the colors bring and what they are trying to convey to us, they being our ancestors and those who have been here long enough to know a few things. So let's look at the colors, right? As in, first, the prime colors. So we have yellow, blue, and red, right? Let's see yellow as source, okay? As yellow like the sun, okay? Source power. And from that source power, your soul has an option. What option is that? Well, you have two options, really. These two options are the blue path or the red path. So your soul can choose which path to go on when it enters into this life that it will live, right? Your soul has many lives that it has lived in order to learn the many things that it must learn, in order to complete the full cycling, to have ascension, right? To break out of the cycling. And in order to have full ascension, the soul must experience both paths. Okay? But you only can do one, for the most part, your soul can only do one at a time until it has completed both paths. And then that's when your soul will come back and will have to achieve a mighty task of living through both paths within one lifetime and completing it and ascending from there. That's when you get full ascension, right? So, before we can get into all that, let's talk about these colors so that it can help you to see the power in them and why they are so significant. So, if yellow is the source one, and we still have, they're all prime, right? But the yellow is the source, and it's bringing to you these two options, your soul, these two options, red path, blue path. Those are the two prime paths. So the goal is to be able to blend the two, whether you choose, doesn't matter which one you choose, but the goal is to blend the two perfectly enough to reach the purple. And that purple would be the beyond the third eye, right? It would be the crown chakra. So it will be ascension, right? So let's talk about it, because it's really ultraviolet is when you have the full total um, ascension, when you have completed all of it, right? But the first portion, whether you choose the red path or the blue path, is to get to that purple, to get to that crown chakra type of vibe. So it needs a blending of the two, right, in order to get there. And there'll be other colors that you would have to blend in order to reach those prime energies that you need. So let's go through the chakras, right? The chakras, we start not with the root chakra. There's actually a chakra right beneath it. There's a few that are beneath it, but for the sake of simplicity, it's black, okay? Is the one I'm talking about. But we won't go into all of that. We'll just start with the root chakra, with red, right? So if you go and do the research on what that all encompasses, then you'll get a full total view of what that is, right? So we start with that red. And then in order to reach the yellow chakra, you have to go through a blending almost, right? And that blending is going to turn into an orange chakra, which is the sacral, right? And then we move up into the yellow, which is the solar plexus. And then we go beyond, right? Because we have to start blending all of this. We have to get to that red blending with that blue. So we go beyond and we go to the next one after the solar plexus chakra, which would be the heart chakra, which is green. So now we're moving up. So now we're getting to that blue, which would be the throat chakra, which is blue. Now we're blending now. We're starting to blend it, which is the third eye, right? That's the third eye chakra, right? And then after we start really, really, really blending it, that's when we move beyond and we have did it. We have reached that special point of purple where the perfect blend of blue and red. So that's a simple way to show the cycle, the life cycle, and how you know you completed it because you reached that point in which you can ascend. Okay. Um, it gets deeper when we get to the basically the ancient ones, basically who have done the full total um ascension to the ultraviolet. Whole nother video, whole nother time. We're gonna stick with the colors right now. So let's look at the color wheel and see a little bit more. And two, how colors are very significant and they mean something when you see them. Okay, so this is an example of that wheel, of that cycling that I was speaking of. If you can look in the center, you will see the triangles that are there. Interesting. I talked about those before, right? So you can see the main primary triangle, the solid one, is pointed towards the primary colors. So it's pointed, the top point is face north. So that's towards source. And then you have the other ones that are pointing towards the options that you have, your soul has. And so no matter which option you take, it's always going to lead you back to source. It's always going to give you the opportunity for ascension for ascension, right? So that's why it's point the other triangle is pointed towards the south, towards the violet color, towards purple, because that's where you really want to be headed. No matter which choice you take, you want to be headed towards ascension. You want to be headed towards enlightenment during this particular lifetime so you can complete the cycle and move on to your next level, your next step, your next cycle that's going to, lead you to full ascension, right? So just looking at those is very interesting. I like how it's played out. It shows the blending of the colors very well. And yeah. Mhm.
Funny story about that dress, though, I have to tell you. It's like I flew to London to meet Vivian, and I remember I get sent into her office, which is like a small room like this, and she's sitting there. She had like sketched out this dress that was red and it had orange and yellow flames, and it was like ripped out everywhere. And I had to tell her I didn't like the idea and that I wanted something more classical.
How did you say that?
It was so scary. She just, I told her, I was like, I kind of, no. She dismissed me. And mind you, I flew all the way over. It's not like she was friendly with me or something, but she dismissed me and she put it all on her husband, and he oversaw my dress. And it's one of the most beautiful things ever to come out of the couture, for sure.